Yes. Here we are back at space. It's one of our recurring themes. So, salute the Shade Room. Here we have a story. NASA plans to build homes for astronauts and civilians on the moon by 2040. So, at the time recording 2023, that's less than 20 years.
Wait, what?
So,
Oh,
2000,
okay, gotcha.
you almost had me like, whoa. Anyway, in 2024, NASA plans to build homes for astronauts and civilians on the moon. NASA says they will send a 3D printer to the moon to accomplish this. The printer will use moon rocks, mineral dust, and fragments to build each home. Yeah, I definitely read this beforehand. NASA contracted a Texas-based company called Icon to assist the building in building landing pads and roads on the moon. Nikki work work
Kaiser.
Workheiser.
Nikki Werkheiser, NASA's director of technology maturation, says we're at a pivotal moment. And in some ways, it feels like a dream sequence. It feels like it was inevitable that we would get here. NASA's already creating a plan to execute the mission in November 2024, which is basically next year. They plan to be sending four human crews to orbit the moon. In the following year, they plan to send humans to land on the moon's surface for the second time in history. So NASA is literally making moves. And we talked about this a couple of times. It shouldn't be retreading too much history. I just want to know y'all thoughts now that it's even closer than it's ever been, which every time we talk about a story about space, it's always, in theory, closer than it's ever been. Yeah, real quick. NASA's building homes. And again, in the next 20 years, that's definitely within our lifetimes, God willing. People are going to be on the moon. Who all is down for it? Ghosts, what do you think? You down to live on the moon, or you do think even in that time span it just doesn't sound feasible to you?
Yeah. I mean, I could go for a hotel for a couple weeks, but I ain't trying to live there. I'll step out. I'll look outside. Damn, I wonder what the if the grass is great. Nope, it's all fucking rocks and it's boring, bro. Like I don't want to live on the moon. I'll visit.
What?
It'll be cool for a little bit,
This
but
is this is
where's
why
the
here
scenery?
on our
Where's the
podcast
stores, bro? Like I
we
want to
love
go
ghosts.
running. Oh, I can't because I'm about to fly out. Come on now. Nah, I'm straight. Again, I'll
You
go visit. I'll visit for a little, but I ain't trying to live there.
what's that new space game that came out? StarCraft,
Starfield.
Starfield. Goes on like you've been playing way too much Starfield. If they plan to build an environment in which humans can live, it's not gonna look like you're in the desert. They're obviously going to build roads and bio, not bio,
Dog, it's
like
gonna be
natural environments.
fake. I mean, it's not real though. It's fake. Like, what if I wanted to live there and start a garden? What about that? Like, I can't do that.
Listen, all you need
I
to
have to walk around in my damn with the astronaut helmets and all. Nah, bro. I'm trying to wear a spacesuit just to go outside. Like, are you
listen.
crazy?
We're all engineers here. Let's just take a second. All you need to have, like, natural life is water, some soil, and some light.
I
I'm sure
mean,
they can
sorry.
produce those things on the moon. I'm sure they'll have biodomes or whatever you need to produce oxygen so you don't have to lug around in a spacesuit all the time. They can recreate, we can build cities these days. Don't you see what they're doing in Dubai, building a whole city in that wall? Like, they can do it. What's
I
the
don't think
problem?
that's gonna work, by the way. But
That's another conversation. I agree with you, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, I'm sure they could whip up something, but it's like it's it's just gonna feel inauthentic for one, because it's not real. Like it's different. I don't know. Maybe I'll enjoy the moon aesthetic versus living here on Earth, but it's I don't see it. And again, the whole you can't skirt around the space station thing unless they build like biomes and greenhouses or whatever you call them that people can walk around without their helmets and all that. But you can't just skirt around that.
They're gonna build an NBA bubble. What you mean?
I ain't trying to live in no bubble now. Well, dog, you don't want to go to someone else's house? Like you got to put on your whole spacesuit. You got to get rid. Come on now, like that's not happening. Again,
Wow.
I'll visit, but I ain't trying to live there.
All this time when people said touch grass, apparently ghosts had to make sure it was real grass. I never knew.
Exactly. I ain't trying to touch rock. Man.
All right. Well, how about yourself, Ace? You know, we've had back and forth conversation about living in space. You almost have your opportunity. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm 100% with ghosts. I'll take a trip. I would like to experience it, you know, once or twice, but definitely not living. I couldn't even. I'm not going to live on the moon. It's I for me to, and this is kind of a personal thing. I'm very much, I think I'm very much rooted to our local environment, and maybe there's different places in the world that or in the US that are similar that I could probably stay for a long time, but um there's just certain things that I have to have in my environment to feel comfortable. For example, trees, like just
Why
like
y'all think they
uh
can't plant trees on the moon?
I don't, it's not going to be the same. And
Exactly. It's fake.
if it doesn't feel real, like if it doesn't feel natural, it doesn't, I don't think I'll ever feel at home in this place. Like again,
All right.
for me, going out to California, going out to Vegas, the deserts that, they've made these communities that would not even be able to survive without some of the technology that we have now. Um, it, I couldn't feel comfortable because it doesn't feel natural. So that, I mean, that's kind of a me thing, but either way, I mean, I guess that's kind of what we're talking about. Could I do it?
Yeah.
And I don't think I could for those reasons.
Dang. I thought we were hyped for the moon. Nobody want to go to the moon all of a sudden. Nobody want to go to space.
I ain't trying to live
No,
there.
not really.
Wait, hold up. Were you the one that was? We had that whole long ass argument, and then at the end of it, you were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I do want to go to space." Is that you? I can't remember. It
Wow.
was some BS.
Wow. That's how I sound, huh? Listen, I've always, and I was probably still set on the argument that the idea of space is cooler than the actuality of space. And I strongly believe the vast majority of people believe this. Like you guys are saying, I think
I agree with that. That was
a lot
that.
of
Nah, that
a
definitely
lot
wasn't
of
the
people
argument.
would like
That,
to visit, but when we start talking about the idea of like any type of long term commitment to space, which by the very definition of space is a long term mission, most people wouldn't want that. That's basically what I was saying. And
No,
I did
take
finish it by
notes.
saying space is cool, and I would like to see some of it potentially one day. But
so you want to go live on the moon?
you know what? I not to be like what's that expression? Like the odd man out, but like if you, I do believe that we can create some Earth, like, and especially like a lot of people like the idea. Okay, so so riddle me this. A lot of people like the idea of leaving their local vicinity and going to live in a new city. A lot of people like to go live in Atlanta. A lot of people like to go live in Houston, Miami. What's the difference between that feeling and then the moon?
Bro, are you getting Wi-Fi on the moon? Like, what you
I
mean,
can
dog?
that will be the very first thing that's there. I can assure you they'll have Wi-Fi. Let's be very clear. Listen, if the listen, I like modern homes. If they go up on that moon and make it look modern and make it look good and make it feel good, I'll
But
live
what's
on the
the
moon.
point of living there versus live? You might as well just live here.
Listen, what's the cost of rent on the moon? Let's have some real conversations. What if it's cheaper?
That's a good question. That's a very good point. If there was
Moving to the moon
monetary
because it's
incentive,
cheaper
like
is
significant
absurd,
monetary
bro.
incentive,
That's crazy. Well,
I
honestly,
think
it's probably only going to be rich people living on the moon, right?
Nah,
Because
you're actually right. It's only gonna be the wealthy.
it's going to be like the billionaires. There ain't going to
Yeah,
be no regular civilian.
yeah. Actually, you're actually right. They say civilians, but obviously they mean like the higher end civilians that can actually afford the cost of a literal rocket going to the moon.
I do wonder if there's going to be like any type of I don't know, like advantages to having businesses on the moon, like doing different types of manufacturing or things like that. That would be
If we go to the
interesting.
moon to industrialize, just
They're
burn our
they're
society to the
they're,
ground. Like,
they're definitely gonna
Mhm.
they're definitely gonna industrialize it. They
No,
might
I mean,
literally.
yeah, they probably will, but
that's
is there
sad,
any
bro.
advantage to it as well?
They
And
actually might mess around and like mess up waves and all
yeah,
type
true,
of
Yeah,
true,
they,
all,
they definitely are.
true.
There's gonna be an
all-
explosion, some industrial plant, and fuck up world of your honor.
they already jack up the world. As soon as they get on the moon,
Yeah, the tides are
Man,
going
uh,
to be messed up.
hey man, it is what it is. Listen, the moral of the story is it sounds like over here nobody's really trying to live on the moon, but I'm in support of the moon colonization. Even though a lot of people are anti-colonization, but that's neither here nor there. I feel as if I end a lot of these topics with it's neither here nor there. Anyway, you
Be
know,
warm, be filled.
they definitely gonna have to work to produce the level of heat that we need for a sustainable life. They're gonna have to figure that one out. Although they can make, like we're talking about the nuclear reactors. Nice. See how all the
bro,
top
like,
see how the
how
topics
are
just
we,
blend
how are we
together.
condoning this? We
I'm not.
should have been
I'm
going to
just.
the moon to
I'm just
begin.
talking. I'm just talking. But if there's nothing else on the literal moon, I'm pretty sure we'll have more space. I bet you in a couple weeks. Hey, we're sending 3D printers to Mars. Wasn't the other company trying to send people to Venus? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a space race.
Well, I
So
mean, that was just like a. I think that was just like a visual thing because I don't remember much from science class, but pretty sure no one's ever going to be living on Venus.
Yeah.
yeah, that's why it was so outlandish because they said F the moon, F Mars. We're going to Venus. Jesus. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure we'll have more conversation about space travel. So if there's nothing else on this for now, we can move on to the next topic.